Okay.
Hey.
I think.
Oh, no. She was just there. All right. Hey, everybody. We're going to get started in just a quick second. So get you, something to drink and get ready to chat with us. All right. Let's get her on.
Okay.
There you are.
Okay, I can see you, but I have this like invite from you still popped up on my screen, and I don't know how to get rid of it.
Is there an X button at the top?
No, it's either go live with you or decline to get
So
rid of
click
it.
go live and it should come back up. Click it again.
Yeah, I clicked it again. It's frozen on there. So it's okay. I don't have to see myself. I can see you.
Okay. All right. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm so excited. So I want you to tell the people about yourself.
Okay, yeah. So I am Chassie Cox, and I just became a postpartum coach in January of this year. And my story's kind of long, so I don't. Do you want me to tell like kind of how I
Yeah,
ended
go
up
ahead.
here? Okay.
Yeah.
So I am a mom to 5 kids, ages 11 to 2. And so I have been through postpartum multiple times. And with that, I've experienced postpartum depression and anxiety with all my babies. And I've had like 4 out of 5 colic babies on top of that. And so I had a lot of trials postpartum, and I never seeked out for help. I did have like my mom as a support system and my husband as a support system, but I didn't know how to get help. I didn't want to go on medication personally. I didn't know about the whole therapy world or who to even find for this specific niche of postpartum mothers. And so I honestly just thought, this is how my life is. This is how postpartum is. This is just what I got handed to me. This is the deck of cards I got. And so last January of last year of 2021, I was to my breaking point of depression and anxiety after my 5th baby. And I was having hives all over my body, super tons of symptoms in my body. And a coach literally landed in my lap. That's a whole nother story, but I'm just going to say a coach landed in my lap. And she was a spiritual coach, and she coached me through my trauma and my healing and helped me relieve those symptoms of anxiety and depression. And we worked together many months. We still work together, but she's like, you're going to be a coach one day. And I was just like, no, I'm not. I'm a mom. And I just told Jaree, I'm a graphic designer. I have been for 12 years. And I was like, I do that. I'm a graphic designer. I already work from home. I've been working from home forever. And so I was just like, no. Well, finally, I was like, one day I woke up, I'm like, I want to be a coach. I think I want to do this because I love talking to people. I love connecting to people. I love the deep connections that I can create within this world. And so I went and got my certified life coaching certification, and I started coaching last July of last year. And I was just coaching women in general on general wellness and healing and things like that. But back last October, I remembered a memory from 6 years ago that if I could do anything in this world, like a platform of anything, like on Miss USA and Miss America, they have like a platform or whatever.
Yeah.
I was watching that and I thought, if I ever had a platform, it would be helping postpartum mothers with postpartum depression and anxiety. Okay, so this was just this little thought 6 years ago. And then that popped up again last October, and I was like, oh my goodness, I think I want to help moms, like postpartum moms. Like, I've lived through this many times, I've gone through this, so why not go and do it? And so that is how I started coming together in my mind, like literally started last October planning the postpartum nannies and the postpartum coaching. And so I launched January 1st of this year, my Instagram page, and I'm up and going and thriving and learning every single day. And so that's how I became a postpartum coach, which I did not even know existed. I thought I was kind of creating it, but I'm finding more coaches now who are helping postpartum mothers, and I love that we're doing this work.
Yes, that is an amazing story. How what your experience into how you're going to help other women is so beautiful, and I'm so
Thank
grateful to
you.
have you on
Yeah.
sharing with us. And you told us about your journey. So now let's get into why do you think a postpartum coach is important?
Okay, so I know you probably have a great answer for this too, but I do lots I do lots of studying on top of like my own personal experiences. And if you read any book, it says when a mother is supported, especially in the first 48 hours after birth, she's more likely to have less symptoms of postpartum depression, anxiety, and any kind of postpartum mood and anxiety disorder. Also, she has a better chance of bonding with her baby and having that connection with her baby. So first of all, right there is already why women need
Yeah,
postpartum
that's
support.
definitely important. That's the
Right.
biggest
But
part.
then, right. And then, so future on top of that, right? The first 6 months, a mother is going through so many transitions and changes, not just with herself, but with her family, her dynamics, maybe her job. She's going back to work. Her baby's changing every month, sleep regressions, food changes, baby starts eating, all these things come up.
Yes.
Mothers need villages. They need support, but not just the physical support, which is amazing. Having meals brought in, your house cleaned, someone holding baby, but we need more internal support within, because if we can control from the inside out, we can handle the exterior issues that arise with our
Yes,
babies,
definitely.
right?
I totally agree. Especially like just mentally, you're changing and just adjusting to so many changes. Like especially like being a first time mom, and then
Mm-hmm.
you go from like not being responsible for anybody, and then you're responsible for someone else beside you, and you have to tend to them, and it's just a big change. And so like just having a postpartum coach you through it, and just someone to listen to you and just help you navigate through the changes that you're going through is so helpful, and it does make a big difference. Like I wish I had a postpartum coach when I had my had
Me
my son.
too. I was like, I want to hire myself again.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Like that is so true. And then like let's think, even thinking about like the benefits of support. Like it is important to have people come and bring you food. It's important for people to give you a break, but for the most part, you need support for you. So I know it's very different when you have a baby. And so sometimes, everybody wants to see the baby, but sometimes they overlook the mom. And so that's where your postpartum coach comes in to make sure that you are still feeling like you're seen. And then it helps you voice your feelings in a healthy way as well. So I think that's why it's so important. Yes, Jazz said you're responsible for someone else's life and have to be more responsible with your own. Everything is so different.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, definitely. It's
Yes.
very different.
I love what you said about that, is like being responsible, for your emotions, be able to talk about those and communicate those. That's something I know, I'm sure you teach too in your coaching, is that we need to set boundaries and hold to our
Yes.
boundaries. Because when our
Yes.
boundaries are overstepped, that already is a trigger for most women and most people. And especially mothers who are experiencing postpartum depression, anxiety, they're already like really tense because of their survival mode that they're in right now. So
Mm-hmm.
if a boundary is stepped, they're automatically triggered, and they're like, it causes even more anxiety and depression on top of that. So we have to create those boundaries, which is just as simple as, you're going to wash your hands before you hold my baby, or
Yes.
like it's
Or saying no,
okay.
you can't come over today because I don't
Right.
want to. I don't want to be bothered right now. And so
Exactly.
it's just those little things. And sometimes, like when we're younger, we learn like boundary. We don't really learn about boundaries, and sometimes you
Mm-hmm.
see it as something negative. But when you have someone else to be responsible for, you have to implement those and don't feel bad about it. It's just like, okay,
Absolutely.
I said what I said, and I'm not gonna change. But we'll still be cool.
Yeah.
You'll talk to me later when you cool down and things like that.
But it's hard because a lot of moms and mothers out there, we have created these habits and coping skills over our lives of people pleasing and making sure everyone around us is happy and not fully taking care of ourselves. And what's crazy that I've seen in my mamas and clients is that before you have a baby, you don't notice what you need. You just go
Mm-hmm.
about life every day. Like it's just like, oh, I eat here and I do this and then whatever. After you
It's
have a baby, you start realizing, you're like, those coping tools that I had before my baby don't work anymore.
at all. Like you, before you can just go live day by day, just going through a routine. But then like when you have a baby, you have to be more intentional about your time. You have to learn how to delegate different things so that you're not trying to be superwoman. Like I'm like,
Right.
I don't want to be a superwoman anymore. I want to get help. I want people to help me do different tasks so that I have energy to do the things that I love. And that's why we want to help other women do the same thing, because if you don't take care of yourself, I think of us as a battery. Like the
Yeah.
more, if you don't charge yourself up, you're just going to be drained, and you're just not going to be the best that you can be. But when you start doing the things that you love and you're setting out a routine that's intentional about how you're going to take care of yourself, that's where you get your charge from. And then that's where you can show up and be the best woman that you can be for your family, for your friends, even for yourself. And that's where you start having that self-discovery that you need once you go through that mommy phase or postpartum. So I
Yeah.
think it's so important.
Sure, for sure. And then I don't know how, what do you do with your clients, like when they talk about like healing and things like that? Like what is your main focus at first? Like what do you focus
Yes. So I think the main focus is just the spiritual aspect of
on?
things. Like you have to look at your inner self. Because
Hmm.
even me personally, from my personal experience, I didn't really learn about the things that triggered me and like things that I had to heal from until I had my son. I was just like, okay, so now I need to focus on these things. So I always say, let's start with spiritual. So you need to start with meditation, sitting in your quiet space, listening to gospel, or if you're spiritual, like praying, just doing those things so that you can hear his voice and his guidance so that you can heal. And I also say journaling. I think journaling is
Yeah, I
so
push that so
important.
much. Yes, journaling
Yeah.
is incredible. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, like I think journaling helps you voice your feelings in a way where it's just like, okay, so now I have the feelings out, and now how can I express that to someone else so that they can understand what I need? So I know, for example, like when you have a partner, they don't always have like know exactly what you need in that moment. So sometimes you may be like, dang, like that's not, they don't know what I need. But it's just like once you journal those feelings out, then you can have that healthy conversation so that your partner can understand what you're trying to say and actually take action afterward. So I think that's what's important. What about you? What do you
Yeah,
think?
same mindset, meditation, quiet, peace, journaling. Journaling really also helps. You don't have to even voice what you journal. It's just to let out that
Mm-hmm.
tension and that emotion and whatever you're needing to let out. Also, like the meditation and the quietness is just teaching your mind how to be mindful, to see your thoughts, because you can't see your thoughts and your triggers unless you're in a state of peace and calm. And we have to know what those triggers are before we get into that situation, so we know how to cope with that trigger.
Yep.
So mindfulness and meditation, spirituality, and definitely journaling are my top things too
Yes.
that I work on.
And that helps prepare you too, like even
Yes.
for like before things happen, like okay, that's not gonna make me uncomfortable. Like how you guys mentioned, I see in the chat they're talking about the boundaries. So even you journaling and like, okay, so if this happens, then I know I'm gonna set the boundaries and I'm gonna speak up next time. So it's just like
Yes.
preparing yourself and teaching yourself through the process. And that's how a postpartum coach is helpful, because then you don't have to feel like, oh, I gotta, pull myself through this process. Like you have someone to coach you through the process and hold you accountable with it as well.
Yes, we support you, we guide you, and you're not alone as you go and talk to your mother-in-law who maybe you need a boundary with, or even your husband, or your needs need to be met. We help and guide you
Mm-hmm.
and support you and help you to how to ask for that without it being malicious too. Because
Yes,
sometimes
without them.
it can come off as you're just angry, because that's just part of postpartum healing too, is there's
Yes.
irritability and anger, that comes out. And so we help guide you with that. And like, for example, instead of saying, oh, you just don't understand me, you just don't get me, I really just want to go take a break by myself, right? Instead,
Yeah.
you can be like, you can go to your partner or your husband and be like, hey, I'm feeling a lot of anxiety right now,
I need five
and that
minutes.
means I need a timeout. And I
Mm-hmm.
really appreciate it if you would respect me to go and you hold the baby while I go take a walk.
Yeah. And sometimes even having code words are helpful too. Like,
Yeah,
okay, so
for sure.
so I don't even have to explain all that. I just want you to know that this is this. And also, Jazz had a good question. Is there a difference between a postpartum doula and a postpartum coach? That is an
Yes.
amazing question. So, Chassie, I'm gonna let you answer that one.
Okay, great. So I'm actually getting my certification as a postpartum doula, only because it just helps to reiterate from healing process the more so the physical postpartum healing process. Whereas a postpartum coach, we're going internal. So a postpartum doula is there to help care for you and your baby, and they can help you with mental things also, like with your mental health. But as a postpartum coach, we coach you with your mental health, but then progress you to the goals that you are wanting to have, like how you want to be a mom, who you want to be, and your desires. We coach you from the present to the future, whereas postpartum doula is mostly just present for you. Yeah.
Yes, and the cool thing too about a postpartum coach as well, I don't know about postpartum doulas. I know postpartum doulas, they come in your home and they help you out for a while. Versus like a postpartum coach, we can coach you up to the first year of birth, because that's where the big transition, like even with postpartum depression, doesn't happen right away. It happens later on down the line. So then you have someone to coach you to make sure that they're looking at the signs and the symptoms of like things like maybe you're getting postpartum anxiety or depression, and we can help you be proactive about it so that you can heal from it, where you don't have to feel like, oh, I have to go get medication or doing different things unless it's necessary. You can just learn, okay, so this is what I need to do. I need to switch up my routine. I need to do something different during out the day, making time for myself. So that's like the biggest piece of it, is just making sure that, you know, postpartum coach can coach you through it internally, while a postpartum doula is there physically helping you, like taking care of the baby. So I know sometimes postpartum doulas come so that you can get some rest, and then you know, they hold the baby. And I think both of them are very good, and it's basically about the support system aspect of it. So even if you need support and you need someone to come help watch the baby while you get some sleep, like a postpartum doula would be perfect. But if you need someone to coach you mentally, or just helping you set a routine or get back into swings of things, that's where the postpartum coach comes into play. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, I hope so too. And a postpartum doula too, like they do your dishes, they even cook for you, and they also, it's usually the first week up to 6 weeks that they help you. Like you said, we are here to help you all the way through the first, second, third year, whatever that may be. We can coach you through all these transitions with you and your baby. So
yes. And you said, when is it too late to get one? I would say it's never too late to get help.
Never too late.
Never too late.
Never
so
too
even
late.
with a postpartum coach, you can start doing during pregnancy to prepare for your postpartum.
Definitely.
And then during postpartum, you can seek out help. So I know, for example, say you already had your baby and you're like, okay, I need help. So then you can reach out to a postpartum coach, and they can still coach you and help you where you are in that moment. So don't ever feel like, oh, they can't help me where I am. Like, no, that's what we're here for, to support you during your journey.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and I know a lot of moms, you're like, well, when do I need help? Right? This is a good question. Like, at what point do I get help? Personally, I'll tell you my personal experience. If you're literally feeling not like yourself, and you keep saying that, you're having lots of symptoms, headaches, hives, insomnia, irritability, anger, all those postpartum mood disorder symptoms, that's the beginning start. But if you just really feel like you can't get over the intrusive thoughts, or you can't get over like all of these symptoms, that is when you need to ask for help and support.
Especially depending on your birth experience as well. So I know for me, I didn't have my ideal birth experience that I planned. So that could have played that. Exactly. So that played a role as well. So even if you're just like, oh, you keep reflecting on that, that's another time where you can reach out to someone to help you heal through that, so that you can be the best that you can be for you and baby.
Exactly. Yeah.
I love it. These are great questions.
Oh, these are so great. Yes, keep them coming.
Exactly. Okay, so Chassie, I know that you are a mother of more than one. So what tip would you give a first-time mom?
Oh, gosh. Lower your expectations. Really lower your expectations. Just go ahead and plan out the first month completely of no plans at all. Don't push yourself unless you're ready for that, of course. Don't push yourself out of just being with your baby, bonding with your baby, you and each other, connecting and getting to know each other. Go ahead and set up, before you have your baby, mental health or support. So even if that's like meeting with a therapist one time, 2 weeks after baby's born, or meeting with your OB sooner, or, you know, whoever you feel comfortable with, going ahead and setting up an appointment before that 6-week appointment. Because usually everything hits the fan around 2 weeks postpartum.
If you don't have the right
2
support
weeks
in
seems
place.
to be the number that you're great, because you're on that high the first week or two, and then 2 weeks hits and you're like, how am I going to keep doing this?
Yeah.
So that's usually when the postpartum mood and anxiety disorders settle in and start. So yeah, another one would just be find your friends, find your people, ask for
Find your
help.
village. Yes.
Find your village, ask for help, but also know that getting help is so okay.
Yes.
Like, you are not weak. You're not a weak mom just because you need more help, because it's hard. It's really hard.
Definitely. And I'm like, you have to, because I know sometimes you women, we don't ask for help, but sometimes we just have to be vulnerable and ask for that help so that we can get what we need. So sometimes it is saying, hey, can you come over for a few minutes? Maybe let someone hold the baby so you can go take a shower, brush your teeth, or just sit and watch your favorite show so that you can relax. Like, that is the biggest one. And I would say a tip I would give to a first-time mom is just learn how to be present. So sometimes, like, we think so many things about our to-do list. That was me. I'm guilty. We spend so much time thinking about our to-do list instead of just being present in the moment. Like, okay, the list is going to get done. The dishes are going to get washed. People are going to get fed. But I need to make sure that I'm doing what I need to do. And I'm being in the moment so that I can remember the moment. Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. If we worry about other things, then we're going to forget about where we are in that moment.
Yeah, and it's hard to remember when you're feeling really awful. Like, I feel like I've told this in some of my posts, but like, I feel like a lot of my postpartum journeys were stolen by postpartum depression and anxiety. And a lot of moms have said that same sentence to me, because you just wish away time because you're just so miserable and you're just so like not yourself and unhappy. And of course, it's depression, anxiety, it's not you who's feeling this. You still love your baby and love your baby so much. It's just you wish time goes away so you get better and you heal, but that's why we're here.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. So you can kind of learn how to do the two, like heal and be a present mom at the same time. Like, you want to be able to experience it. Yep. And learn how to adjust. So I know, like, sometimes mom's like, well, I'm not able to do maybe say go for a walk. Like, sometimes take the baby with you and push outside. You know, it may take longer than usual. Like, that's what you have to learn as a new mom too. Some tasks take longer. So I know for me, if I'm going to the store with my son, I'm not going to be able to just go leave the house in like 30 seconds and then just drive to the store or somewhere. Like, okay, I got to get his stuff together, make sure I'm good, and then I'm going to put him in the car seat. It may take a little while. And it's just, but you have to be present and enjoy those moments, because, you know, it's not going to always be like that. Every phase is temporary. So before I know it, he's going to be doing other things. So I just, it's a big thing.
What I tell my clients too is, like, every baby you add is an extra 30 minutes to leaving the house.
Yes. I have one, and I can attest to that, okay?
And as they do get older, it's not as long, but I'm talking that first couple of years. Yeah. That, just know, like, the more children you add, think of it that way.
Yeah, so each person has their own needs, and you have to be like, okay, what do you need? What do you need? And then it's just like, okay, and then before you know it, time flies.
It does. It really does. It really does. That's the crazy part. It's like, I had a baby yesterday, and I have a 2-year-old and, you know, an 11-year-old, which I can't even believe. So time does pass by, but it doesn't make it easier in that moment when you're struggling. And that's what I want these mamas, whoever's listening, to hear, is like, we hear you and we see you, and we know, like, people say, oh, you're just tired, you're just overwhelmed, and we know it's more than that. We understand that.
Definitely. Don't ever let, like, other people's stories, because I know sometimes people normalize being overwhelmed and burned out, and it's just like, we don't want to normalize that anymore. We want to normalize asking for help and getting those things in place, so that we're not like, oh, I'm overwhelmed, and then you're going to just be snapping on people, and then it's just, you're not yourself, and we want you to be happy. That's the biggest thing.
Exactly.
And then Jazz talked about her being diagnosed but can't remember to take the medicine. So this sounds great. I didn't know this was a thing. Yes, it's definitely a thing, and it's growing. So postpartum coaches are growing around.
We're like we said, we're like postpartum doulas, but for, like, your mental health.
Yes.
Not the physical physical health. And like I said, I know postpartum, we kind of cross over each other's paths. Postpartum doulas also do work with some of your mental health and help you stabilize that. But we are going very deeper into that mental
going
health.
down the layers.
I love that. I say that all the time. The layers of the onion, we are taking it off down to the core and the roots of what's really happening inside here. From the logical brain and the emotional side of the brain.
Yes. And the biggest thing is just you have to be ready to be challenged and just want to heal. Like that's the biggest thing.
Do the
just
work.
Making sure. The work is
do the work.
But it's so worth it.
That's another question. I can't see the questions, you guys, because I
got you. That's why I've been reading it to you. So she said so many therapists aren't accepting new clients, so she's been struggling to find help. So a therapist and a postpartum coach are two different things, but a therapist does. So how I see it is like a therapist, you can go talk to them and they listen to you. And then like a postpartum coach, they listen to you, but we put it in action as well. So we're holding you accountable to do it. And you have your check-ins and we can take you through the phases of how to get to where you want to be. And that's how we see it. I know BetterHelp is a reference too for therapy, but you can also reach out if you're interested in either me or Chassie, and we can do something like that, book a chat, and you can talk to us and we can see how we can help you as well.
Yes. Do you have any programs right now, Jaree?
Yes. So I have a group coaching program. Okay. It's a 5-week program. It goes through 5 phases, helping new moms learn how to pre-plan and navigate through it. So you'll learn about spirituality, how to make time for yourself, how to love yourself, how to build your support system, and the best one is how to keep connecting with your partner. So those are the biggest things that I teach you about because I think, and they work, the 5 phases are what really helps you navigate through postpartum. For sure. What about you, Chassie?
Yes. So I have 2 offers right now. But again, I can work with you if neither of these even sound good to you, but I know one will. So I have a long-term Brave as a Mother 6-month program, and my focus is finding yourself in motherhood, healing generational trauma, which is the roots to all of this anxiety and depression, and giving you lasting relief of depression and anxiety. That's a 6-month program because, like I mentioned before, we are going through so many transitions and phases of transitioning, and I want you to have these skills for the rest of your life. This isn't just like after you have your baby. This is forever skills. So to transforming your life, just to have all these skills, because after postpartum, there's still maybe lurks of depression, anxiety later on in life, right? And so you'll have those coping skills and tools. So that's Brave as a Mother. And then I have right now a current offer I just put out 2 days ago, and that is 1 90-minute session and 1 month of Voxer, which is voice and text support, for only $100.
So that's really good.
Yes. So it is a get to know me 90 minutes. Let's dig into some of that anxiety, depression, and go ahead and start relieving you of that anxiety and depression. And then we will work together for a month through voice and text on Voxer and really get you some lasting relief from that anxiety and depression.
Yes, that's perfect. Because I also do one-on-one sessions as well. So if you guys are interested, and my YouTube channel starting. So next week I'll have my video. Yes. So just be sure to subscribe to it so that you can get some tips. And next week I'll be talking about my my pregnancy journey all the way through postpartum, which is so exciting. So yes. So how can they connect with you, Chassie?
I'm wanting. Oh yeah. Sorry. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you now.
Okay. I don't know what happened. Okay, great. Yes. Congrats on your YouTube channel. What's it going to be called?
Healing from Postpartum.
Okay, great. Yes. And I'm hoping to launch a podcast in the next couple months. So
I'll keep us posted.
I'll keep you posted on that. It's not that I can't do it. I just haven't started it. So
go ahead and start that podcast.
I know. I'm ready. So ready. Does anyone have any other questions?
So to wrap it up, how can people get in contact with you?
Okay, my best contact is right here on IG. DM me. And honestly, I'm on Facebook too as Chassie. At my handles at the Postpartum Nanny. So Facebook or IG, just give me a DM and I'd love to connect with you. What about you?
Yay, that's perfect. And yes, same, just send me an Instagram message, or you can also click the link in my bio to book your free chat with me, and we get to know each other and then plan out how I can help you. So yes, and I just thank you guys for watching and just joining us. So stay tuned for the great things that we're doing, and make sure you follow Chassie as well.
Thank you. Please do. And any of my followers, go follow Healing from Postpartum. That's the handle, Jaree.
Yes.
Go follow
Thank
her.
you so much for this, Chassie, and I
Thank
hope to
you.
see you soon, okay?
Same. Okay.
All right. Bye,
Bye.
guys.